Hey friends, I'm bringing you this time an experiential tip. I know in the month of May it was Mental Health Awareness Month, and so I started sharing some info, some insights, whatever. I told you I was going to keep doing it, so this is me continuing to just share some beneficial mental health stuff to maybe benefit you or somebody that you know. So this one's experiential, which means you can play along with me and maybe notice something shifting in your body and in your emotions. So this one in particular is for anybody that maybe has a perfectionistic side to them. If you self-identify as a perfectionist, this one might be for you. So if I take a step back a little bit, there are different types of therapy. Sometimes people don't realize that. There's different types of therapy. People do things in different ways. And one of the types of therapy that's out there that maybe you have heard of is known as IFS, which stands for Internal Family Systems. So what I'm going to share with you is a snippet, kind of a little bit IFS related, okay? It is not deep down IFS work. That would not be appropriate right here. The way that I want to do is think about if any of you have seen the movie Inside Out. I love that movie. I love the second one as well. They're both really awesome. So it's a Disney Pixar movie, so maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. In that movie, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. But if you haven't seen it, or if you have seen it, remember that in that movie, there's the main character, a girl, and you get to see kind of like inside her brain, the different little feeling parts that all try to help her, right? So there's like, sadness, and there was joy, and there was anger and disgust and fear, I think. So they are all interacting in her brain, trying to help her run her life, right? So the way that they depict it in that movie is that they take over the control panels, right? One of the emotions, one of the feelings will take over the control panel in her brain and then kind of make the little girl do different stuff. So in IFS, the way that we want to kind of look at it is we all have little parts in our brain, kind of like in that movie, except the difference from that movie is that we can actually connect with and interact with and kind of have a conversation with each and every one of those parts. One of the biggest takeaways from it is that we realize like there are no bad parts, there are no negative parts in her little brain, even the sadness, even the anger, they all are trying to help her. Okay, so many people might have a part in their brain that we would just kind of label their perfectionist part. Okay, so if that's you, I want you to think about when that part maybe shows up for you. Like what would be going on in your world that would bring that perfectionist part out. Okay. And then if it is safe for you to do right now, I would invite you to close your eyes. The reason that we close our eyes sometimes when it's safe and feels okay to do is that it helps us to tune into our inner world a little bit more deeply. When our eyes are open, we're kind of paying attention to everything around us and we just don't listen as well. So close your eyes, and whatever you were thinking about a minute ago that would stir up your perfectionist part, go ahead and stir it up a little bit, because what we're looking for with your eyes closed is to really start to feel and connect with that part. So as you're thinking about the thing that would stir up your perfectionist part, where do you maybe feel that part in or around your body? So sometimes it feels like there's a sensation in our body when we start to tune into our perfectionist part, or when we're in a scenario that our perfectionist part really wants to take the lead, we might feel it in our body. There might be an emotion that comes with it. Sometimes we get like an interesting little picture. Any of those are okay. And if none of them happen, that's also okay. But often there's a way that we sense our perfectionistic part. So if you're sensing that part in you, in your mind, you can do this out loud, but I won't make you act that crazy. In your mind, just say, I notice this perfectionistic part. I feel it, or I notice it in my body in this way. And it's allowed to be here right now. This perfectionistic part does not have to change. It doesn't have to go away. It doesn't have to hide. This perfectionistic part is just allowed to be here right now. So notice as you say those things, how that part maybe responds. You might notice a shift or a change in some way in your body. You might notice a shift or a change in an emotion in some way. The picture might change in some way. There is no right or wrong answers. You're just noticing what happens when I let this part know that I notice it and that it's allowed to be here. And then ask that part, what do you think your job is for me? How are you trying to help me? And just kind of like listen inside yourself to see what answer kind of seems like it pops and shows up in your thoughts or in your emotions somehow. How is that perfectionistic part trying to help you? What is it afraid might happen if it stopped trying to do its job? If it stopped trying to be a perfectionistic, what is a perfectionist? What is it afraid would happen? So most of the time, people will hear or sense or feel an answer that their perfectionistic part is trying to help them to stay safe or loved or valued in some way. So just listen to that. Just take that piece of information in. You don't have to argue with it, or just hear it out, what it's trying to tell you. And then I want you to let that perfectionistic part know that you appreciate how it's trying to help you. We're not debating right now whether it's helping you or harming you. That's not the point. Thank you for trying to help protect me. Thank you for trying to help me to feel loved and safe and valued. And just notice if that perfectionistic part has a response to you thanking and appreciating it. It doesn't have to respond in any way. We're just kind of noticing. And then for now, just thank that perfectionistic part for allowing you to get to know it a little bit. And maybe you might want to check in with it later too. But for now, we're just saying thank you for letting me get to know you a little bit and offer you some appreciation. And then whenever you're feeling ready for it, go ahead and open your eyes back up. So that little exercise is a teeny tiny little snippet bite of what someone might experience in working with a therapist that practices IFS. IFS is not the only one that talks about our different parts, but it's kind of the one that seems to dive deep like that. And that was, again, just a teeny tiny little snippet taste. But it really is it's a good example of what can happen when we just tune into a part and how it's trying to help. And when we offer appreciation, a lot of times people will notice a sense of relief show up in their body, a sense of ease. Sometimes other emotions or other parts will show up. So sometimes sadness then shows up or anger shows up. Like, none of that is wrong or bad. We're really just kind of exploring a little bit. If you happen to play along with this and you would like to share what you noticed, I would love to hear, either in the comments here or feel free to send me a DM. I'm curious to see what people maybe experience with just that teeny tiny little snippet. Just know that teeny tiny little snippet is really just the tip of the iceberg. This was not meant to replace therapy in and of itself in any way. It's just a little taste of oh, here's something that's possible for people when they work with an IFS therapist, right? This, but a lot more. So feel free to share it with somebody that, maybe is also a perfectionist that could use a little help, a little dose of something that feels good. And let me know what it feels like for you. I am planning on doing things like this, these little experiential ones, coming up. So if there's a topic that you specifically would like for me to do a little experiential with, please let me know that too, and I'll see if it makes sense for me to work one out for you. All right, until next time, friends, take care of you and all your little parts.